What's called Positively Responsible. It's aimed at the management and business market, particularly senior decision makers who've been struggling with this issue about how this thing called sustainability fits with the business case and how they can do that in a way that's going to feel right for them, going to be advantageous instead of some kind of block on their businesses. I suppose I've been influenced and interested by what we now call sustainable development issues all my life, right from a very early age, growing up in the Canadian prairies and being influenced by the grandeur of those surroundings through to very different surroundings of New York City, where I spent a lot of time in the Museum of Natural History, walking the English Lake District fells near where I went to school, and then obvious really, taking up university education in things like natural and built environment sciences. It was very obvious that I was always going to forge a career advising decision makers in business and public administration on issues of environmental protection and social justice. What I found throughout my career was that the main tool I used, which was evidence, sound, science-based evidence, unarguable facts that should have changed people's opinions and behaviors, just wasn't being as effective as I would have liked to have seen. And I suppose it led to a crisis of confidence. Was it the facts that were wrong? Was I just not very good at explaining it? And that led me to a conversation with a friend and colleague, Professor Kerry Cooper. He's an organizational psychologist. And I said, well, it's not technology. There's plenty of that around. Public policy isn't terribly helpful in this area, but it isn't a complete block. So is it something to do with the human condition? What is it about people that they can be confronted with a clear and present danger and then inexplicably not react to that? And so Positively Responsible as a project was born just to try to explain this extraordinary behavior. But what was really fascinating as we got into it was that we discovered when we talked to business leaders, to people who are interested in fighting for the environment, boycotters, whole countries even, the reason why they were changing to more sustainable behavior wasn't because they were forced into it, coerced into it, fined into it. It was because they wanted to change. They found something to move towards which they thought would be much better than the situation that they were occupying. And that led to a really interesting idea that perhaps public policy and particularly business strategy could be built along completely different lines, that we could actually forge a more sustainable world because people want to, rather than because at the moment they feel they have to.